Welcome to the Joyful Optimist podcast, your Sunday sanctuary for a little more joy and a whole lot of possibility. I'm Sandy Kusano, and each week we gather here to breathe, reflect, and reconnect with what really matters, your true wealth. So let yourself settle for a moment. This is your space to reconnect. Before we begin, here's what I'm noticing this week. I'm currently in Northern California, near Mill Valley. And since arrival, it's been gray, rainy, foggy. And this morning, I woke up and caught myself thinking, ugh, what a dismal day. And then I paused because I realized how conditioned that thought was. That gray automatically means dismal, that rain automatically means something's wrong or bad. And I thought, what if that doesn't have to be true? And I can't change the weather, but I can change how I perceive it and what's happening inside of me. So instead of resisting it, I welcomed it. I listened to the rain. I noticed how green everything looked, the leaves almost glowing as they glisten with the rain and the light. And I let myself sink into the quiet of it. And suddenly, the day wasn't so dismal at all. And that small moment brings me to today's conversation. Today, I want to talk about conscious leadership. Now, you may have heard this phrase before, or it might be completely new to you. Either way, I want to ground us in what it means in this space. Conscious simply means being aware and awake. And leadership in this context isn't about a title or a position, it's about influence. So when we talk about conscious leadership, we're talking about how aware you are of what's happening inside you and how that awareness shapes the way you influence the world around you. So I learned this phrase through my training at XChange, where conscious leadership is at the heart of what we practice. Now, here's the reality. It can feel like, and perhaps it's even true, that the demands of today's world far exceed our internal resources. Again, not an absolute truth, but it can really feel that way. We're all expected to move faster, handle more complexity, and manage uncertainty, often without being taught how to navigate our inner world, our emotions, our actions. So, what do we do? Often it results in us defaulting to autopilot. And what does that mean? It means we're reacting to the world rather than choosing how we want to respond. We're letting the outside conditions dictate our inner state. In other words, we're in a reactive mode instead of taking agency and leading from awareness. So when we're under-resourced and unconscious, we lead from reactivity. And reactivity is pressure, urgency, control, avoidance, perhaps people pleasing. But when we're resourced, when we feel safe, when we're present, when we're regulated, we lead from something called creativity. And creativity isn't about being artistic. It's about the ability to respond thoughtfully instead of reactively. For many people, it's recognized as what we call a flow state or a joy state. And conscious leadership is what gives us access to that state. So, why does any of this even matter? Why does conscious leadership matter? Well, for the individual, conscious leadership means more clarity, steadier energy, less self judgment, less outer judgment, and the ability to pause instead of spiraling. And it matters for those around us because it creates psychological safety, trust, cleaner communication, stronger community. And if we zoom all the way out, why does it matter for the world? Well, it means fewer fear-based decisions and more people leading and acting from a space of awareness with more integrity and care. As we wrap up this conversation, I want to invite you to take a moment for a reflection. This would be a good time to grab a journal if you like, or you can just simply let these thoughts roll around in your mind. Think back to a person in your life who has influenced you by leading with awareness and intention. Someone you'd consider a conscious leader, even if they had not a formal title like that. Now, think about the qualities they embodied, as well as how they made you feel. Based on those answers, what's one small way you might bring a little more awareness into your own life and leadership? So, as we wrap up this conversation, I want to invite you to take a moment for a reflection. This is a good time to grab a journal if you like, or simply let these thoughts roll around in your mind. Think back to a person in your life who has influenced you by leading with awareness and intention. Someone you'd consider a conscious leader, even if they never had a formal title. Think about the qualities they embodied and how they made you feel. And based on your answers to those questions, what's one small way you might bring a little more of that awareness into your own life and leadership? If this conversation is sparking something for you and you're ready to dive deeper, I'd love to invite you to join me for the Awakening the Conscious Leader workshop. I'm going to start holding them in January into February and sporadically throughout the year. You can find all the details you need at joyfuloptimist.com. And if this episode stirred something in you today, I'd genuinely love to hear how you're doing. You can leave a comment wherever you're listening to this podcast. And if someone in your life might benefit from this conversation, please share it with them. Sometimes these moments land exactly when they're needed. What's the best that can happen? Until next Sunday, I'm Sandy, your true wealth coach.